Hello YouTube family, welcome again to Lady T's Exotics, and I'm super excited to present this video to you today. Before I left for the cancer walk, I had posted a reel of one of my male reticulated pythons who's actually in breeding mode. So he has been displaying for a few weeks now breeding behavior, and I posted that reel to show people that, you know, you often hear that when your male reticulated pythons is in breeding mode, not to handle them and, you know, be cautious, which you should be cautious of handling them in that mode, but not to the extent of being fearful of them not being themselves. So I posted the reel. So I decided, based on some of the feedback that I got from the reel, that I would actually do a full video on my reticulated python in breeding mode. So Hefe is my first male that I have witnessed going to breeding behaviors, and what those behaviors are. Well, let me just go to the first thing that made me realize that he was in breeding mode was I always let my retics that are housed in the same room. So these are retics that was raised up together, male and female. They kind of cruise the house together, and I never have a concern with that. And these two particularly, you will always see, and if you look at previous videos, you would see that Hefe and T'Challa would always go in and out of each other's enclosures. Well, this particular day I was cleaning Hefe's enclosure and he went into T'Challa's enclosure and they locked, and I almost passed out, because you guys know that I have no intent to breed reticulated pythons at this point, because I do not believe that there's a market that is strong enough for people to buy them, house them, take care of them long term, and give them the activity and intellectual care that they need to be thriving in captive bred environments. So that's my choice. That may change. My mindset might change as we educate people more down the line, years down the line. I don't know, but that's where my position is today. So anyway, at that particular point, they already locked. Me and my husband decided that we would not do anything to attempt to stop that, right? So we allowed them to stay locked until they unlocked, and then we just removed him out of her enclosure at that time. And now we just have to be conscious that he just can't surf through her enclosure anymore like he used to, because we don't want babies. However, we still let him out for his common exercise that we allow him to come out for. Typically, you know, my retics come out often. I believe in that. I believe that if you're going to have them, you're going to own them, they need to be able to come out and roam the house. And that's how I just raise mine. They're not caged animals. You know, the enclosure is more to house them when they're not supervised, more of a place for them to be when I can't see them. But if I'm able to be where they are and I'm up and, you know, walking their house, I think it makes more sense to let them to be out and do the same. And I believe that's why we have the relationships we have. So I'm gonna just show you, as I normally would show you guys, me engaging with them, how I get them out the enclosure. Hefe is one of the most docile reticulated pythons that I have. He's very conditioned to handling, and he so far has not displayed anything differently. What you're going to see is that his behaviors are different. So he's going to come out and he's arching a lot when he comes out. So he arches his back on everything, he knocks everything over, and I'm okay with that because I understand that's part of his breeding behavior. But as far as his overall temperament, that has not changed. So I'll do this video for you guys today, and you're going to see me actually go and approach his enclosure and take him out like I normally would. Now, when I tell you where I'm going to be cautious is that typically with Hefe, we don't use a hook at all. And I may not use one today, but for educational purposes, I suggest that if you do not know how to read your reticulated python the way that I can, then you definitely want to use a hook. Even as someone who is seasoned with their reticulated pythons, there are certain days with retics that I may not ever use a hook with that I notice that, okay, this may be a day I want to be a little bit more cautious, and I'm going to just go ahead and just place the hook nearby in case there is any abnormal activity, okay? But stay tuned, and I'm going to go and get Hefe out his cage. Alright guys, so you can see I'm down here. This enclosure is actually on the bottom, so Again, you're going to see me, like I said, I'm going to be cautious. As you can see, he already wants to come out. This is my Retic way of it. He was literally just laying here. When he saw me come down here, he came to the glass right here, and he's basically telling me, Mommy, I want to come out. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to begin to open his enclosure. And we're letting him come out. Watching his behavior. Very good. You're going to see him arching. If y'all guys, if you can see that. Very much arching. Still not displaying any behavior that I should be concerned about. But I am right now definitely overly cautious of his behavior, because this is all new behavior for him and new behavior for me. Effing. Yep, he's still a good boy. He's still a good boy. Move this out your way. As y'all can see, the arching is serious. It's serious. And sometimes the camera doesn't pick up how big around these Retics are. I mean, he's a big boy. But a sweet boy. Always been, always will be. And he's doing his normal exploration. His normal paths. So nothing abnormal. Okay, so now he's about to knock all my stuff over. So I'll have to clean all of it up, but I don't get upset with him. I understand he's going through some things. Y'all know how it is when y'all want some, but y'all can't get none, so. I'm very patient with him. My only concern is that he don't hurt himself. So. And as you can see, he's still very much arching. Cafe, don't hurt yourself. And although you see me touching him and everything, I'm being cautious. I don't want y'all to think that I'm just haphazardly just thinking nothing is not possible. I just allow them to do their thing, you know? Do that thing. This is the only way you're going to know if it's possible. And this is how I created relationships with them, you know. I always trust that they trust me, and that in any condition they understand that I'm here to protect them. So I don't typically have any worries with them, not even in this state. So you'll see all the stuff he just knocked over. I'll go pick it up, no worries. No big deal. All right, guys, so as you can see, nothing crazy happened in that handling session. You can see that the snake is, you know, doing his normal exploring with some arching. A little knocking things over, and that's the main thing. Like I said, I have to be careful of not, you know, I just don't ever want them to accidentally hurt themselves. So it's nothing they can do or nothing they can break over there. So he's still out, still doing his thing, and we'll still be out for a while. but nothing eventful. I just think that I'm a fond believer, and eventually guys, hopefully in the next 30 days, I'm going to bring on my top retic breeder, the person who I got most of my retics from, Jim Jolly, and we're going to have some good conversation and dialogue about retic ownership and what makes the difference between having a manageable adult or an adult that's hard to manage. I truly believe that mine's all easy to manage in any situation because I built the trust early. They've always been a part of the family, you know, not, you know, they're part of us, you know, so they're used to everybody. They're used to people moving around them, walking around them, kneeling around them, you know, like all the things that people may be concerned about. Body language around a reticulated python. Doesn't matter if the reticulated python is comfortable in this environment. Right now, you know, one of the things that I've heard many times from even long-term breeders, you know, you better be careful when they get into breeding mode. Absolutely, he's knocking stuff over now. Absolutely got to be careful when they get into those modes, but not to the point of not handling them. I think that even in this mode, he needs to understand that sometimes, you know, you're going to have to come out. Sometimes you're going to have to still get your exercise. And even though you're not able to breed, you still have to be able to coexist with your humans. And that's what I try to do over here with mine. So didn't want to make this too long of a video, but definitely wanted to capture this for you guys on video for the channel, since most of you guys definitely saw some of it on Instagram or TikTok. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. I truly believe that I have some of the most amazing reticulated pythons and other larger snakes as well, because of the relationship that I have with them. So until the next time,